Yo, what is going on, guys? Got an interesting video here today that I thought I would cover. It is about a woman who is 26 years of age, and she says that she has never dated. She does not want to settle for a man, and so she is out here making this video, giving advice to other women, I believe. So we're going to be jumping in. We're going to be seeing what she has to say as someone who is almost 30, I suppose you could look at it. And still doesn't have a boyfriend or still doesn't have a husband, it seems. So let's take a listen, guys. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments, and let's see what she has to say.
Sometimes I feel that I wanted to gossip so hard that I created a whole YouTube channel to do this. And today I want to talk about the lessons that I learned about myself, about the relationship, about people overall after being single for 26 years. And I want to clear the air for some girls who think that they're being too picky, that there's something wrong with them, that they will not get into the relationship ever, and they will end up being alone with 40 cats or whatever it is that propaganda is telling you. And I want to share my personal experience and to be kind of honest there with you, whoever watches this video, and maybe this will help you actually. The first thing.
So I must admit, guys, I suppose I am one of these people who are pushing forward this cat propaganda. Because I do think that there are a lot of women out there who, you know, they screw around throughout their 20s and they do end up single and alone with 40 cats. Now, if women want to end up single and alone, right, if they don't want to have a man, that's fine. I'm not out here trying to force women to get into relationships, especially ones that they don't want to be in. But the fact of the matter is this is happening to a lot of women. I mean, we see them all over TikTok, guys, women who are 35, 40, breaking down because, you know, they weren't able to have kids and so on and so forth. So she's 26 and she says that she's never dated. Now, guys, I will say this. I am very, very, very skeptical of these women who say that they are 26 and never dated, because what it usually means is, you know, she's 26, but she's still met up with men. You know, it's not like these women, in my opinion, have been celibate this whole time. It's not like they haven't been interacting with men. A lot of them just have failed to get commitment from the men that they really want. If you think you're going to find some 26-year-old woman and she's going to have, you know, she's going to be celibate and she's never dated, I'm very, very skeptical of this.
The thing I want to start with is obviously about being picky in the relationship. And what is even this, being picky? You are choosing the person with whom you will spend majority of your life, if not the whole life. So you have full rights to be picky, but also you need to understand that as for the woman, this is easy to find a relationship. This is so easy to get into the relationship with any man, but you need to know what kind of a man that you're looking for. And do you want any man? Do you want any relationship? Do you want any kind of a person to be around you? Most probably not. And
yeah, of course. And this is what I've been saying on the channel for quite some time, guys, is women have a ridiculous, you know, this woman agrees with me here. Women have a ridiculous amount of options when it comes to dating. They can go out there, they can get your average man, and they can have a relationship with him like it's nothing. Okay? But the problem becomes when they're shooting for the top percenters, right? The dudes at the top, which is what all these women are doing, because the average man, oh, she doesn't want to just be with any average guy, you know, she doesn't want to be with any, you know, any lowly peasant. All right, we need a dude who's really quality. We need a quality man. And so of course these guys who are quality, which usually just means, especially as women push into their 30s, usually they define this as resources, right? He needs to have a lot of resources and he needs to be loyal. That's usually what these women define as high quality as they push into their 30s, especially. But these guys, you know, it's kind of harder to get commitment out of these ones, you know. And this is what I'm saying, man, is women, they have standards, as they push into their 30s. You know, they start to develop these things that they require in a man. Now that we're done sleeping around, now that it's time to take things a little bit more seriously, now it's like, okay, crunch time. I need to choose a quality man. I could get any man, but I want a quality one, you know?
And if you are a smart, intelligent, beautiful woman and you're successful, obviously that your like pool of people who you are choosing from will be a little bit smaller than the average.
Yeah, so what she leaves out here, guys, the reason why, if you have a woman who's smart and successful, okay, the reason why a quote unquote smart and quote unquote successful woman's dating pool shrinks is because they don't want to date dudes who do worse than them. You know, like, again, if a woman is out here making 100K a year, she doesn't want to be dating the guy who makes 75K. She wants the guy who makes 150. Now, the reason why I don't feel sympathy for women is because they do this to themselves. And this is something that personally, guys, I can't relate to as a man whatsoever. You know, if you have a guy who's out here making 100K a year, he doesn't care if the future mother of his kids or wife or whatever makes significantly less money than him. We simply don't care. So this is not something I relate to as a man. And I don't feel a lot of sympathy for women when they are actively trying to, you know, secure men who just do better than them, quite honestly.
But even if success and like financial wealth will not be like the main criteria for you, you still have some values that you want to see in your person, some kind of treatment that you want to receive, and to look for this treatment is not bad. What I think way worse is to actually settle for something that you never wanted, that is not even close to your standards, and be like so frustrated to the end of your days that you even wasted your time on this person when you could get yourself the exact type of treatment that you want and you could receive whatever it is, but you just decided to settle. Like, this for me would be the like scariest thing ever. Like, let me know in comments, what do you actually think about settling?
Holy hell. So I'm going to answer this question directly. Men in general don't think about settling. This is not even something that comes across men's minds typically, right? We're not out here like, oh, this woman only works at McDonald's. Well, if I date her, I'm settling, you know? Or this woman only makes $35,000 a year. If I make her the mother of my kids, if I marry this woman, which again, I don't think is a good idea for men, but if I marry this woman, oh, I'm settling. Dudes don't think like this. So obviously this question is directed at women. And I find this to be really funny because this is this woman's greatest fear, she said, I believe, to go out there and quote unquote feel like she's quote unquote settling. It's ridiculous, guys. Men are essentially just viewed. It's like we're not even human at this point to these women. It's like, well, why would I go with Jim over here? Because Bob makes $5,000 a year extra. Bob has a nicer car, so I'm going to go with him. And the funny thing is, guys, I actually have less of a problem with this, right? If women didn't screw around in their 20s the whole time. You know, if you have some woman who hasn't been with a bunch of guys and she's looking for her best option, sure. But the funny thing is, these women will oftentimes go out and hook up with bad boys, and then they'll push 30 and be like, well, now's my time to find a guy who's making at least 100K a year. And the thing is, the guy that's making 100K a year, he doesn't want women who have wasted their youth screwing around. You know, and I mean, these women will tell you, I didn't screw around. I've been single this whole time. I'm 26 and I've never dated. It's like, okay, how gullible do you think I am? You know what I mean? I don't believe it, man. Oh, she's 26 and she's still single, but the reason for that is because, you know, she just hasn't found a quality enough man. And by the way, on this topic of, oh, I don't want to settle. Okay, you don't want to settle, but how's that pursuit for that top tier man going? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to settle for average. It's like, okay, well, how's this mission panning out for you?
Does this scare you the same way that it scares me? And like what I personally think that people want to get into the relationship so fast because they are just afraid of being alone, and being alone, like loneliness, 40 cats, like you will die, like surrounded by no one, and no one will pass you like the glass of water or whatever. Like this is who even came up with this?
I mean, women did, because it's what happened to a lot of them. You know, guys, I want to stress this, okay? I don't want to come across like I'm trying to pressure women into relationships, like threaten them with 40 cats or something like this. If you don't want to have a relationship with a man, if you don't want to get married, if you feel like you are settling, please continue to stay out there dating and hunt for your perfect man. Like, just do it. We'll see what happens. We'll check back in with you in 10 years' time, and we'll see how that pursuit went for you. Okay? And, you know, some of these women, they'll end up with a dude, but oftentimes they'll absolutely hate him because they feel like they're settling. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll go out here and do what this woman is suggesting is scary, is they think that they can do better. So, you know, I don't want women like this to be afraid of having 40 cats, guys. I don't want them to be afraid of being single and alone. Please go out there, do what you think is right for you, and then we'll check back in 10 years' time, right? Because the thing is, guys, is I see this happen to women all the time, right? I've covered so many of these videos. We never run out of them. There's new ones every single day. Even with the TikTok ban that's since been reverted, I believe, we would have been completely fine. Like, women will always post this crap to the internet. You know, women will go out here, they will never settle because it's their biggest fear, like this woman suggests. And then they're the ones who are ending up with 40 cats and they're single. You know, I'm not making this stuff up. This is what the women actively experience. If you don't think you're going to experience that, fine. Keep doing what you're doing. It's no problem to me, man. Like, this changes nothing about my life whatsoever.
Like, definitely not women, first of all. Women did not came up with that. And second, like, this is just the fear which makes you do stupid things. And people are so afraid of being alone because they actually don't know, like, who they are, what do they want to have in their life, and, like, what are you as a person? What kind of treatment you want? What kind of values do you have in your life? What kind of a person you want to see with yourself? What kind of values this person should have, or whatever? And people sometimes get into the relationship even without having any particular goal, without the goal to get like kids and get married, without the goal to like travel together or whatever it is. They just want to get into the relationship because of fear and because of anxiety, and again, like all of this like stress of being alone or whatever.
I mean, how about just getting into a relationship because you love someone? You know what I mean, guys? Like, holy hell, gone are those days, right? We're getting into a relationship because we want a particular kind of treatment, because we're planning, because we want to go on trips. Okay, and the kids and marriage thing there, it's like, again, guys, women start to care way more about this crap as they realize that 30 is not too far away. You know, it's like now we start to look at, oh, okay, I'm going to take dating a little bit more seriously now, right? Now I need a man with morals. Do you think, guys, let me just ask you this, so not even directed towards this woman in particular. Let's just give her the massive benefit of the doubt, okay? Do you think that then when these women are like pushing 30, right? 30 is just around the corner, a few years away. Do you think that they have been hooking up with men who have had the best morals or the most amount of money in their bank account, or men who have treated them exceptionally well? No. What these women go out and do is, particularly throughout their early 20s, like 18 until roughly this woman's age, really, depending on the woman, they go out there, they hook up with dudes who don't need to have a lot of money. They don't need to have strong values, strong morals. It's funny to me, guys, because women will tend to pick dudes with quote-unquote morals when those morals become convenient for them. Because the thing about morals, guys, is women look for men who are generous, caring, and so on, because this makes it easier to receive things from the man. You see what I'm saying? Like, if the man is not caring and kind and honest, well, he's not going to be loyal to you, and he's not going to give you his resources by extension. It all comes down to what can the woman extract from the man. It's not about love. It's not about caring for another guy or what she can provide to him. It's all about, okay, which option is best for me, and what kind of thing and how much can I get out of this particular guy. Now, guys, I'll say this again. I don't mind, if women want to go out here and choose their best option. I just think it's a scam for men, especially considering most women have wasted their early years doing the complete opposite.
And I have seen really a lot of cases when people were jumping like from the relationship to the relationship with the minimum or even no time of being actually single. And they don't know how to be single. Like they don't know how to be one-on-one with their thoughts, one-on-one with themselves, how to get themselves occupied and like overall happy. And this is scary. This is what should be scary, that you are so scared of yourself and you are so like afraid of yourself that you are not afraid to jump to the very first person that you see and start the relationship with them. And people, I think that they really don't value their time enough and they don't value like themselves enough. And this is why like everyone, like you hear about unsuccessful relationship way more than you have about successful ones. And the reason why we have about so many breakups, so many divorces, so many different like misbehavior, cheating in the relationship is like, and we hear about this way more than we hear about like good treatment, where people are genuinely happy with each other, where they treat each other really well. And for some reason, like this successful type of the relationship, it's considered to be so rare. It's considered to be like, you're so lucky that you got this. You are just like, keep this. You should keep this. Because a relationship is some kind of like hard thing. Like relationship wouldn't be so hard.
Wait. Weren't we just talking about why this is the case? I want to hear this woman's perspective as to why all of the relationships fail, why everything is falling apart, why people don't stay together anymore. Because my diagnosis of this, guys, yes, there's a bunch of reasons for this, but if you're talking about relationships specifically falling apart, usually it comes down to the fact that the woman thinks that she can do better. That's really what it boils down to, man. Like the reason why so many relationships fail, so many divorces are initiated, is because women are incentivized to do that because they think that the grass is greener on the other side. It's actually the exact mentality that this woman is describing in this video, ironically enough. The relationships are failing because people have mindsets exactly like this woman. Never settle, make sure you get the treatment that you want. You deserve this. You deserve a top tier man, and so on, right? If you're a successful woman, you need to go out there and find a more successful guy, and so on and so forth, man. Women are out here and the relationships are ending. The marriages are ending because women are incentivized to leave. They think that everything's going to be fine. They can just trade up the man for another one.
If everyone who enters the relationship would actually know what they are looking for there, and they would not be afraid to share with their potential partner of what exactly they are looking for. Like what kind of the standards do they have, what kind of the idea of the relationship they want to have, what kind of the what kind of image that you want to have of the relationship in your perfect life, and that other people, like even if this is being shared, wouldn't be lying like to the person who is sharing this, that like, oh yeah, okay, like this is good for me, because again, they're also afraid of being alone. So if you want to be successful in the relationship, in my personal opinion, like if you want to listen to it, if you want like don't, but you need to get rid of this fear of being alone. You need to just like get it out from your soul and never think about it, because what is essentially being alone? This is when like you just take the experience of other people and you completely forget about your own experience with yourself.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? This woman is trying to say, listen, don't be afraid of being alone. You can work things out. You can get that successful relationship. A few things to point out here. number one, this woman's pushing 30 and she still as yet has not secured a man. Okay, so I don't know why we're taking dating advice from women who are single, but she's entitled to give her opinion. That's the first thing there. So she's saying, hey, don't be afraid to be alone. Don't compare other people's experience to your own. And see, guys, I'm completely the opposite, man. Right? If I see, for example, if I see a lot of guys warning me, perhaps that marriage is a bad idea, or I look around and I see a lot of guys who have been screwed over by divorce, they lose their kids, they lose their assets, and so on. I'm going to think, hey, I don't want to end up like that person. You know, like that's really as simple as it is. What there's like a saying, you know, wise people learn from the mistakes of others. Now, you can sit here as a woman, and I'm not saying I'm wise or anything like that, guys. I'm just saying that's how the bloody quote goes, all right? Now, this woman doesn't have to listen to other women. She doesn't have to look at their experiences. She doesn't have to listen to me. That's fine. I don't care if people don't listen. It's totally whatever. But you know, when reality comes a knocking, you can't say that people didn't tell you so. You know, and guys, like I find it endlessly funny, man. Whenever I come across the 35-year-old women complaining about the dating situation, and there's like a soft meow in the background, that stuff lightens my day, guys. It makes it so funny. To me, it really does. Because, you know, I can make these videos all day. I could tell women the smart decision to make, and they will just never listen, and that's fine because they think that they are quote unquote settling. And the funny thing about settling, by the way, guys, like these women are like, oh, I'm settling. You know, getting with an average man, do the women ever consider that they might be average women? Or at least to men? Because here's the thing, guys. You'll have a woman who makes 100K a year. And so she says to herself, well, I'm not average. I make 100K a year. But in men's eyes, this is completely irrelevant. And what matters is what the opposite gender thinks of you, right? You might think that you're the best thing ever, okay? But if that quote-unquote high-quality man doesn't want to commit to you, maybe you're not. Men set the things that they are interested in, not the women. Men don't care about your career. We don't care about your accomplishments, your degrees, and so on. Many of these women who want above average men, they are completely average to the men that they want. Crazy how that works, isn't it?
You just take the experience of other people and you completely forget about your own experience with yourself. So what it means that you think that no one will be around you, you will not have anyone to talk to, you will not you'll be ostracized, you will be forgotten, and all of these things. But where
I mean, no. These women won't be forgotten. Number one, their cats will know them. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I mean, their cats will know them, but I am joking here. You'll, as a woman, you'll still get attention from people. You're still going to get attention from dudes. You know, a lot of these women will still have their shoulders to cry on. Okay? Just what happens is the pool of attention shrinks. The quality of the men that they previously could get attention from shrinks. Right? It really helps, guys. It is in women's best interests to choose a good man as early as possible. You know, set your standards super high. Set them nice and high, and select that man as early as possible. And don't ruin your life before then. Don't hook up with a bunch of guys and start looking for your Prince Charming when you're like 26, 7, or 8. No. You know, make the good decisions as early as you possibly can. That's really what it comes down to.
You'll be ostracized, you will be forgotten, and all of these things. But where is your personal experience? Do you actually understand how sometimes it's way funnier, it's way cooler, it's way more interesting to spend time with yourself than spend time with someone else? Oh, you don't because you are afraid to be alone and you need always someone nearby you to spend time. I got you, but try something new. Try to literally spend time with yourself, figure out who you are, what do you like, what are you thinking about on a day-to-day basis, and the time will pass and you will actually start being interested in yourself, you will start loving yourself, and you will be like, oh, there are people who want me to go out with them, should I actually do this, or would I prefer more to spend time just with myself? And you will notice how you start choosing yourself more and more and more and more. And what you need to be prepared for, and I by any means think that that this is something bad. I think that this is actually very cool, that this will be much harder for you to get into the relationship that is toxic, that is not giving you what you want, that is not being fulfilling to you. And the reason for that is because you will actually, like, first of all, you will satisfy all of your needs. You are interested in being with yourself, you like this. And if there is a person, like a man or a woman, who comes into your life and they are just not giving you what you are giving to yourself, they are not treating you well, they make you feel like an option, they don't like bring any benefit to your life, this will be so easy for you to move on from this person.
Okay, so what she's describing here, guys, is, you know, you're pushing 30, right? Your 30 is just around the corner. And now it becomes really important to, hey, let's stop accepting bedroom invitations from random guys. You know, let's start to focus on what you need. You need to focus on the men who actually bring something to your life. Translation, okay? Stop doing the hookups and get with a man who has resources. Okay, and oftentimes, let's be real about it, guys, women will still keep a couple of dudes in their back pocket who they like to hook up with while they're out there searching for their Prince Charming. You know, but this is the transition, the epiphany phase, the transition that women go through as they get older, is like, hey, wait a minute, I need to stop screwing around with the guys who are quote unquote quote wasting my time. No, she knows the language, man. Notice how this woman uses the language, okay? Treating you like an option. This woman has been treated like an option. Many of these women who get into this age bracket, yes, they've absolutely been treated like options. And the reason why is because they've been chasing bad boys this entire time who have had no interest in having anything serious with them, right? But now they need to start saying no, because now it's crunch time. You got to find that guy with integrity. You got to find that guy who's successful, who's going to give you the treatment that you want. And it's all about me, guys. And I think this is a complete scam for men, okay? Because imagine the reversal here. I mean, these women will never imagine this reversal. But imagine you're a guy, okay? You're 22, right? You're not successful yet. No woman wants you. Maybe a couple, right? Who are just really unpleasant or highly unattractive, don't take care of their health, whatever. You essentially have no options as a man at 22. You work your tail off from 18 to 22, whatever, and let's just say now you are 34 years of age as a man. You've finally made it, okay? Now you're going to have women who are like 28 to 32 hitting you up, being like, trying to make things happen with you because you're a good man now. You've made it. But they never wanted you back when you were younger and you didn't make it. You know, the average guy, well, now he becomes a lot more appealing if he makes himself, you know, if he finally builds himself after all of these years. And what do you get in return? You get a 28 to 32-year-old woman, typically, who has been with a whole bunch of dudes, who has an incredibly high list of standards, which, by the way, even if you provide to this woman, she is still going to be thinking back to the other men that she is still attached to. That's the really messed up part, guys, is what men can fulfill all of these demands. You can put in all the work. You know, you worked really hard since you were 18. You've made something of yourself. And now you get a woman who feels like she deserves better than you because you're not as attractive as the dudes that she screwed around with when she was 21. No, thank you.
Like, this will be so easy for you to, like, just completely forget about them and just like get back to yourself, because you are happy with yourself, and this should be the benchmark for yourself before you get into the relationship. Like, am I happy with myself or not? Because I can guarantee you, and like, no person who is unhappy with themselves can actually build a good relationship. And we are thinking that relationship is only about romantic relationship, but every relationship is a relationship. So, like, friendship is also the relationship, and any kind of relationship is relationship, okay? And if you are not happy with yourself, you will not be a good friend. You will be like constantly needy friend, the friend who constantly needs someone like to come and save them, who is not capable of giving back. And you will be like anxious and paranoid. And the same thing will be with the relationship, like romantic relationship. If you are not happy with yourself, you will be jealous, You'll be thinking that there is always someone else who you are competing with. You cannot be like the first option, and you will be like, this will be some kind of like weird, crazy attachment style. So the benchmark again is being happy with yourself, and when you're being happy with yourself, everything like gets much better in your life, actually. And I genuinely believe that there is like no such thing as being afraid that, oh my god, I'm constantly like, keep doing something with this hair.
I'm skipping this. I don't know why we're just doing our hair in the middle of this.
Being alone, I think that this is just like, this was applicable when we were like living in caves and there were tribes. And if you were a loner, you wouldn't be able to survive. Like, obviously, you needed a tribe to be around you, to protect you, to get food together, to take care of like your offsprings together, whatever. But right now, this is the best time in like eternity to actually be single, because sometimes you can achieve more by being single than you could achieve like when being in the relationship.
Yeah, right. You know, you don't need no man. You're going to be totally fine. You can provide for yourself. I've seen a lot of women have this attitude, guys, over the years. And yeah, there are some successful women out there, great. But you know what a lot of women realize is that they don't want to do it all themselves. And this is why they start to panic as they go into their 30s. It's like, yeah, she can work her tail off. Yeah, she can try and become successful. But a lot of the women realize that A, they don't want to work very hard for many, many years at a time. And B, if they do want to have kids, then they don't want to be working during that period either. Okay, so you know, very, very funny how this works out.
So just for you, like a thing to think about. And right now, like the fact that like you will die alone, or if you like go alone, you will like have the shortage of resources or whatever, like this is just simply not true. So this fear comes like from the very, very far. And it's just supported by propaganda, again, like about this myth about women with 40 cats who are alone. But like, do you actually know that the happiest category of people are single women?
I've seen women bring this up many times, guys. I don't know the research that supports this. But hey, look, if you believe this research, you think that women are happiest when they're single, that's totally fine by me, man. Like, no dudes are trying to pressure you into a relationship. She keeps bringing up like propaganda and people trying to scare her and things like this, guys. I swear to you, hand on my heart, that I am not trying to scare these women. Guys, it is far funnier. I get way more content, man, if the women actually end up alone with the cats. So technically, I'm incentivized to tell you to take your own advice. You know, don't be afraid of being single. Your dream man is just around the corner. Don't settle. I think that women should follow that advice because I get to farm more content out of it, to be honest with you. No disrespect towards this woman, guys. Women are allowed to make whatever decisions that they want. They don't have to believe the terrible propaganda from random, barely animated vampire men on the internet. No skin off of my back as far as I'm concerned. Now, I wanted to show you guys this chart again. I'm bringing this up more and more because I think it's funny, but you guys might recognize this. I brought this up on a recent episode. This is just a little flow chart I whipped up of, you know, women's essentially life cycle. It says healing journey, but this is what women do, guys. I'm going to run through it another time on this episode because this woman that we just covered, she's on stage 3. Particularly the part in bold. Okay, so check this out. Here's where you start as a young woman. Maybe you're 18, maybe you're 21. This is where you start out. What you want to do is you want to smash a bunch of dudes and fail to get commitment. You know, get treated like an option by men. Really, you know, men just keep exhibiting really inconsistent behavior, and so on and so forth. This is where the women start. They smash a bunch of dudes. They fail to get commitment, and so on. It's worth noting in this part that women aren't actively looking for resources. They're just looking at the attractive guys. Okay, so some women look for resources on the younger scale, but it happens more and more as they get older. At this part, it's more about which men are highly attractive, right? Then you need to keep smashing dudes, okay, until you fall into any of the 3 following categories. Number 1, you're running out of time to have kids. Okay, you're pushing 30. Now's the time to start considering kids. So you're starting to panic a little bit, right? That's you do this until you meet that criteria, or you accidentally have a child with one of these random dudes, or you hit a point where you are sufficiently sad and lonely. Usually point number 3 here, by the way, guys, applies to the women who have already been through one cycle of this particular flowchart. Let's continue. Now, once you've accomplished this, okay, you've smashed a bunch of dudes, you've failed to get commitment, you know, you're running out of time, for example. Now it's the time that you need to go through a healing phase. So this is where the woman we just covered is. Okay, you go through a healing phase where now you expect more from men, okay? This woman in this video used the word treatment. You know, she expects better treatment from men. She wants to have a man who's of higher quality. Now comes the point in their lives where they expect more from men. And this is a point where you really need to, as a woman, galvanize your narcissism, okay? It's all about you. It's all about self-love. It's all about what you need and what you require from men now. And here's the optional part, guys. I didn't whip up this flowchart for this particular video. This was already here because, as you guys know, I'm just an absolute mind reader when it comes to this crap. Optional down here, you can become a TikTok dating coach for women. Now, this woman became a dating coach not on TikTok, but as you can see, she's giving out dating advice for women now that she's in her healing phase, okay? Next step, right? This is what's next up on the agenda for these women. Find and marry or have a relationship with a simp who provides you with everything, who you are not typically physically attracted to. So now we're going to go out here, we're going to hunt for the man with resources, with good morals, who's kind and caring and compassionate, and we're going to hook up, we're going to get with this guy, okay? Because now we need the provisioning. And a lot of women consider this settling, and the reason for that is because this man is obviously not going to be as attractive as the dudes that she failed to get commitment from prior, okay? So when she's 23 and she's smashing that bad boy, she's having a great time, but she can't get commitment out of him. The man who she can get commitment out of is not going to be as attractive typically. So she's going to consider it settling because he doesn't meet her standards of the previous men that she's been with. Now, once you've secured this simp, this man who you're not attracted to, next step, you have to stay with him for a little bit. Now, the reason why you have to stay with these men for a little bit is because if you leave too fast, right, if you get married for a smaller duration, or, you know, you fall under a common law marriage state, for example, if you leave too fast, you can't rob him as easily. So you need to stay for a bit before you leave him. And then we move on to divorce him and rob him of his family and assets. Now, it's very important as well, guys, quite critical for the women at this point, that you need to lie about his character, and you need to convince people that you're the victim because you are unhappy and you were suffering and so on and so forth. And then once you've done this, you continue back on to step number 1. I hope you guys like my chart. I think it's pretty damn accurate. To be honest with you, I think it's hilarious. But this woman in this video, like I said, she's around point number 3. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. So don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.